okie dokie. We're Sal versus Lucy's boyfriend. And we're gonna see buffed White Lion Chariots versus buffed Kadai Destroyer. Which will be victorious? So Tyrion, he has fire resistance that should help against the Kadai Destroyer, but the Kadai Fire Destroyer also... God damn it. Why do I keep saying fire for everything? The Kadai Destroyer also has fire resistance, which should help it against Tyrion, so... Potato, potato. For the Highlands, the front line is the White Lions of Krace. We have double Dragon Princes, one of which is the Fireborn. We have Tyrion, a Noble, Lion Chariots of Krace, and then a Healing Caster with Regrowth, Dwellers Below, and Earthblood. On the other side, we have Drazoth, the Ashen, up in the sky with Curse of Hashut. That is about it. Curse of Hashut is a way overpriced Spirit Leech that does not even do a lot of damage to its exact target. We have the Kadai Destroyer, which just got collision attacks, Hobgoblin Cutthroats, and Chaos Dwarf Warriors to hold the front line. Actually one Hobgoblin Archer, one Infernal Guard of Fireglaves, a Bull Centaur armed with Great Weapons, and the Blazing Beards of Bazrek. As Dragon Princes charge in, their impressive fire resistance and physical resistance should keep them pretty safe from the Blazing Beards' attacks, but the Noble and the Lion Chariots are going to have a worse time fighting on top of Hybrid Halberds while under attack by Drazoth. Will take a lot of damage, and it looks like they're actually going to suffer mightily the consequences, as the Kadai Destroyer is currently butchering a bunch of White Lions of Krace with his fancy new collision attacks. Trying to build up that blazing body. Where is it? There it is. Give him some better melee stats. Over here, the Fireborn and Dragon Princes are blobbing up onto the Blazing Beards, getting some damage, but definitely need to spread out and go to other areas of the map. While Breath Attack comes in, they dodge it nicely, but also Dragon Princes with all that fire resist we discussed earlier, not even going to take that much damage from the Breath Attack regardless. Halves are down in the balance of power. The Kadai Destroyer is still rampaging through the White Lions of Krace. As long as the Fireborn and Tyrion stuff are kept away from it, it is plenty happy to kill infinite amounts of White Lions and keep charging up that blazing body. Look at its collision attacks go. Bonk. Good stuff from the Kadai Destroyer. Noble is terror routing, but Tyrion is trying to get in to fight Drazoth. He is currently held back by the Blazing Beards. Chaos Dwarves have very high mass. The Chaos Dwarfs units, not like the whole roster. Hobgoblins have no mass. Fireborn getting shot by the Infernal Guard, but again, like we said, shielded, bronze shielded, and then physical and fire resistance, making them very, very difficult for the Infernal Guard to deal with. Still getting damage out over time, but not as bad as it is for most units. The Kadai Destroyer is coming over, feeling a little bit bolder. He does have a decent amount of Blazing Body charged up, 1/5 of the way. And then he comes. Dark Subjugation, lowering these guys' leadership and melee defense, making them much easier to hit for the Kadai Destroyer on the charge. Gets a big chunk of damage out of them and routes them off. Halves very far behind in the balance of power, but the Kadai Destroyer coming over to say hello to Tyrion. It's trying. There's a lot of Dragon Princes in the way. That is a regrowth onto the Lion Chariots. I guess they do need them to try and clear out those Infernal Guard, but still, it feels a little overbold. I don't know what at this point can kill the Kadai Destroyer. Fireborn are going to give it their best shot. Good surround from a very strong unit. As we all know, they can get a lot of damage out on large targets, but they are very low. The Kadai Destroyer is literally full HP. He's going to crush those guys. As Drazoth continues to duel Tyrion in the background, the Fireborn, not ITPs. They could terror out, but so far have managed not to. Yeah, they managed to hold on somehow. Guess they must have terror out before. Lion Chariots dying to the Infernal Guard. Looks like the Fireborn will be taking their place after that as the Kadai Destroyer moves up and starts attacking the Mage of Life. Tyrion is currently fighting Drazoth and not having the best time of it. I guess his HP pool is just really high. So even when Tyrion hits, it's not like a massive chunk of HP gone. And these Fireborn are just charging back and forth, trying to do their best. But the Chaos Dwarfs have the point. The Chaos Dwarfs have more random support around the map. The balance of power is heavily against them, and I don't disagree. And the Fireborn are about to rout and fighting the Kadai Destroyer. Not their favorite time. There they go. And this is a Kadai Destroyer W. It's actually done pretty well too. Yeah, 1600 value and it's still like full HP. Sunfang, not very effective versus Chaos Dwarfs. Again, fire resistance across a lot of the roster, plus high armor. Just makes Sunfang useless because it's 0% armor piercing and fire damage. Kadai Destroyer manages to physically miss Tyrion, but then Dark Subjugation makes him a little easier to hit, as it uses the worst possible attack animation onto him. And Drazoth comes in here like, you stupid infernal beast, just pay attention and let's get some hits in. Tyrion is proving so hard to hit, but finally they get a hit or two in on him. Something is happening over there. Lion Chariot's Noble and the Lifecaster are all just clustering in the forest, having a little campfire, trying to stay safe. I imagine they're spamming Earthbloods onto themselves, but it is just funny looking to see them all over there in the corner huddling. As the Kadai Destroyer misses another attack onto Tyrion. It has pretty high melee attack, but I mean he has 96 melee defense when he pops his buffs. Hard to blame it. It will eventually beat him, so I'm going to fast forward here, as we all know how this ends. Tyrion did get his heal, though he terror-routed as he did it. Still, the bounce power is impossible for the High Elves. And that Kadai Destroyer hunting down Tyrion. Drazoth kills the Mage of Life. Give up, Elves, it's over! Jesus. They really don't know what to call it quits. 3,200 damage value on the Kadai Destroyer to end it out. It gets stuck in a fight with Tyrion. It's gonna try and fight back, but it routs him and then they win. Good job to Lucy's boyfriend, getting 3,200 value. 3,500 for Drazoth too. So 2 units that are generally not considered very strong. Solo carrying a game. The High Elves brought a lot of fire damage to a Chaos Dwarf fight, unfortunately. Tyrion and the Fireborn both having a very tough time dealing much damage with all that fire resist going around. So, it's pretty brutal. Alright, we had, I believe, if I do my editing right, we had the Tyrion game versus Kadai Destroyer before this one. We now have Valnir versus Itatski. Skaven versus Khorne. We're gonna lump some of these videos together because they're ones that like weren't... For my standalone videos, I usually like to take like really close games, generally, and the Kadai versus Tyrion one wasn't particularly close. And spoilers, this one isn't either. It has something interesting in it and fun that I wanted to put on the channel, but I didn't know how to do it. Because like as a standalone video, if it's just a one-sided stomp fest, then it's pretty lame. So we're gonna do a compilation. Woo! Alright, for the Skaven we have 4 Night Runners, 2 Plague Monks, 3 Plague Monks, yeah. Some Stormvermin Halberds, Clan Rat Spears, Double Doom Flare, the Thing, Warp Grinders, Queek Head Taker, and a Warlock Engineer with just Death Frenzy. Hello, Queek. My beloved little Skaven man who sucks in this game, but someday you'll be good, I promise. On the other side for Khorne, we did have some flanking Chaos Furies. Bunch of Marauders according to dual weapons, more Chaos Furies. And then we do have 1 Skull Cannon, Karanak, some Minotaurs, Valkia, and some Skirmish Horsemen. As they advance to fight on the hilltop, Skull Cannon's going to try and fire up over the hill. Their arc of fire for that is terrible, though, so they do need to get onto the hill if they're going to do very much. This Skaven Doomflayer is going to help an Abomination roll straight through a Marauder, already taking about half its HP. See what Khorne can do about that. Spear Slapnir up the line of the Night Runners. Good amount of damage if you spread it out over 5 units. I mean, what was that cast? Yeah, about a 500 damage value cast, so pretty darn good. Plague Monks meet Marauders. Plague Monks should win that fight, especially with all the support nearby. Skaven gonna be pretty happy how that's working out as Queek starts to move up. Valkia is infantry size, so Queek gets all of his buffs versus her, especially if he pops Dwarf Gouger. I think it gives... Oh, it just gives base melee attack. For some reason I thought it was like bonus for infantry, which is hyper specific. So Queek is coming. Demon Shield just wore off, so Valkia is easy pickings. The Help of Abomination's also moving in. Hopefully it doesn't get in Queek's way. Trophy Heads lowers Valkia down to 15 melee defense. Queek's trying to get there. He can't quite find Valkia, but then he does dive in onto her, so he will get a little bit of damage out there. Chaos Furies crumbling away. Marauder's also going to tear out, leaving Valkia all alone with the Master Queek. Queek presents his back to her and gets poked in the butt because Queek is really good. Have I mentioned how good Queek is? He's really good. He dives back in, gets a cool attack animation. I didn't notice Valkia's health go down that much, so I'm guessing he didn't actually hit her. As I leave that duel in the bottom left, you can see Queek is starting to get some hits in. Across the map, the Skull Cannon helped Khorne overload that one flank of the Skaven. I see a Queek kicking her ass. I see it down there. I'm just also casting the other things. So Khorne is trying to overload that flank, and that's going pretty well for them, but the center fight is a disaster, and Valkia getting soloed by Queek is pretty bad for her. And that is a great matchup for him. Now, what she can always do is just fly away from Queek at pretty much all times, so she doesn't have to engage him, but if she engages him, Queek will, not a joke, not a meme, beat her ass really easily. That doesn't fix his numerous problems. So we have some Warp Grinders that lock down Fleshhounds for a brief moment. Now that their net has worn off, the Fleshhounds are going to try and eat them alive. Though the Fleshhounds doing Fleshhound things, they are specifically janky against Skaven, where they'll often just kind of like T-pose on Skaven for a while, and it's really annoying. Valkia opts back into a fight with Queek, which is a huge mistake. Queek's going to immediately pounce on her. Karanak's netting Queek in place, doing a little bit of damage. That's what this was about. This was some kind of Lord Snipe attempt onto the Skaven. I can understand that. The game isn't going great, so if you can snipe out Queek, that might be fine. But Karanak's not nearby to help out with the snipe attempt, and now Valkia is just all alone with Doom Flares and Queek. Demon Shield made her invulnerable briefly. She goes back into the fight with Queek. Never retreat, never surrender, says Valkia, but like, bro, you might want to retreat. I don't know about surrender, but you might want to at least retreat a little bit. Queek's got standing ground pop. He is chilling. He is doing just fine. As he took a spear straight through the chest. I know it probably didn't register as a hit, but it looked like a hit to me. He got stabbed again. He hits Valkia. She terror routes away from the Hell Pit Abomination, and she's just crazy, crazy low. Elsewhere for Khorne, we have a smattering of small infantry left. Karanak's nearly full HP. We have 2 Skirmish Cav full HP, a Skull Cannon with a lot of ammo and HP. That's holding up the balance of power. In reality, the Skaven are heavily in control of this game right now. They have a lot more forces. Their Hell Pit is very healthy. Their caster is very healthy, though I guess it's just Death Frenzy, so not a huge caster advantage. And Karanak can't do shit against Queek or the Hell Pit. Karanak's really janky about killing foot characters. He often just knocks them around or fails to attack them. So he's not going to be great at sniping out Queek, and the Hell Pit is going to be amazing at killing Karanak. He even gets buffed up by Death Frenzy just to give it more oomph, more damage, more likelihood to hit, so Karanak gets completely bodied. You can see that balance of power shifted extremely against Khorne when this very expensive hero got massacred by Queek in the Hell Pit. Just a uniquely bad situation for Karanak. He has no good targets here. The only thing he can do is run down the Warlock Engineer, but again, as we said, Karanak's going to knock him around more than deal damage. But his silence would be nice if the caster brought anything worth shutting down, but Death Frenzy is not a great spell. So you're just kind of like, you're shutting down a caster, but big who cares. Valkia is back, so Khorne's leadership is not going to take a big hit when she routes off the map or anything, but I don't think it matters. I mean, these Marauders are about to rout. Chaos Furies are healthy, but that can change in the blink of an eye, and then the demonic instability crumble and be gone. Skull Cannon's still fighting with Doom Flares. But Skaven have the point. The Skaven have a lot more agency and tankiness. So this will be a slow grind. I will fast forward as the Skull Cannon's going to try and kite a bit, but the Doom Flares are keeping it honest. The Hell Pit even gets a charge in. Good shot on the Stormvermin Halberds. That was quite nice. Valkyrie is trying to snipe out the Warlock Engineer. Weaken the Hell Pit are nearby, though. And that is army losses. Good job, Valnir. Making Queek look okay in this exact situation. We love to see a Queek win. Even though I still think he is garbage ass. Piece of shit. Frick you, Queek. Frick you. This is a family-friendly channel. I don't swear ever. For Tatsky, you played it pretty well. You couldn't have imagined that Karanak would be literally useless because the enemy caster was going to go full support, so there's not worth sniping, and the enemy lord would be a foot lord, so then Karanak just knocks him around. It's pretty brutal. Because even if they go with like a foot lord like Skrulk, at least the silence stops Skrulk from using all of his abilities that make Skrulk good. And then even if you knock him around forever, at least you're stopping him from playing the game. If you knock around the Warlock Engineer forever, oh no, Death Frenzy, oh no, like, it's pretty whatever. So, Tatsuki got a little unlucky on build there. GG's. Welcome back to our short series. I am sure at least 30% of you can guess why this game is short. Dwarf Hub! No, that was an accident. I didn't actually mean to say that because of Chaos Dwarfs. Demons Chaos versus Dreadquake Mortar. I mean, Chaos Dwarfs as a faction. The whole faction, not just the Dreadquake Mortar. Dreadquake Mortar. And for the Chaos Dwarf army, we have a Arwar Dreadquake Mortar, the Demon's Tongue. So that's pretty cool. It's crazy that they brought literally one unit into this fight, but yeah, it's the Chaos Dwarf build. For the Demons of Chaos, we have Chaos Furies of Slaanesh, 4 of them, some Bloodletters of Khorne, Fiends of Slaanesh, and then we do have Kairos the Darkling Prince with his Rampage and Lash of Slaanesh for a bit of buffs. Some Seekers as well from our Armor Piercing. But can all of these units kill the Dreadquake Mortar? We'll find out. As for some godforsaken reason, CA buffed this unit. I know some of you are like, well, we don't see it that often. It is crazy good. It's also just really fucking expensive, but they buffed it for some reason. I don't know why. It can fire its giant mortar at point-blank range when in melee. It is a really strong duelist. It is crazy expensive. That is a thing. I'm not pretending it doesn't have any weaknesses. And it dies to range very quickly, but if you don't have armor-piercing ranged, you're doomed. You're just doomed versus the Dreadquake Mortar. And it looks like the Demons of Chaos are going to try and fight it in melee with armor-piercing Furies, armor-piercing Seekers, armor-piercing Lord, and armor-piercing Bloodletters. It is continuing to roast them as it has leadership debuffs. You can see it just fired a Dreadquake Mortar in point-blank range, doing a ton of damage to the Seekers and the Chaos Furies. But anyway, the Arwar Demon's Tongue specifically has leadership debuffs on its shot where it burns them. Nice little cast of that the eruption one, Flames of Asgard. Another Dreadquake shot in onto the Demons of Chaos. We're about to lose both of these Bloodletters. The Fiends also aren't looking too good. Caress is having a bad time. And in a minute and 50 seconds, the Demons of Chaos are bordering on army losses as the Dreadquake Mortar continues to walk around. Fires on itself, gets another giant shot off. Fiends of Slaanesh taking some big damage from that, Seekers as well. Something is happening here. It is a rampage onto the Demon's Tongue to make sure it doesn't move. Thank God, because if it moved, it might get out of range and shoot its mortar. Its dangerous mortar that it definitely can't fire in melee. Oh, fuck, it just fired it in melee again. That's crazy. Who could have predicted that? As it kills off the Fiends and the Seekers, and then army losses takes them. Dreadquake Mortar, baby! 4,000 value while in melee with armor-piercing units all fucking game! Let's go! Super glad that got buffed. And for people out there who are like, you're a spoil sport, have fun for once in your life. I cast a lot of multiplayer games. And trust me, when a ranged artillery, melee, duelist, chariot train can carry entire games, it gets old really fast. I don't want to say I've seen it before, but I've seen it before. So here's your replay where you're like, haha, that's funny, I love that. You're probably not going to see a lot more of it on the channel. Because if someone sends me a replay where like, this game's crazy close, and I see the Dreadquake Mortar, I'm like, there's two options. Either that shit died immediately, and then the Chaos Dwarves had a heroic comeback, or it didn't die immediately, and the rest of this game is going to be that train cycle charging the whole army. Neither of which is content I want to cover. So here's train game. Here's your fucking train game. I was talking to Indie Pride as well, or Milk and Cookies, or whatever you want to talk about. He's like, wait, how long has this thing been able to shoot melee? And I'm like, I don't know. At least last patch it could as well. And they're like, why could it do that? I don't know. It just can't. So then CA I think they took 400 gold off of it. It's like, oh fuck, okay, people are gonna notice that thing's really strong. All right, let's see, I'm curious. 3,900, did it get more damage than its entire army combined? That's about 400. That's about 1,400. It's about 2,400. It's about 2,600, about 3,000, so there's 900 value left, 800 value left. All those combined is about 700 value left. Ah, there it is. The Dreadquake Mortar got 500 less damage than the rest of the army combined. Feels good. It honestly got more than a Butcherbird's entire army put together. Fuck you, Dreadquake Mortar. Alright, we have another replay here from popular streamer Tequila Sunset versus Meduso T. And this is going in the short section because I think you can notice something about that Lizardmen army that would make this not a great video for standalone. Vampire Coast brought a lot of ranged units, and the Lizardmen appeared directly behind them. So on a teeny tiny map like Glacier Lake, a full Vanguard Lizardmen army of Chameleon Stalkers, Skink Skirmishers, Ripperdactyls, including the Colossal Hunters, Pakopok Cohort, the Get Blom's Terror, and Nakai, leaving only a Beast's Caster where they should be spawning. For the Vampire Coast, we have the Lamprey's Revenge, a Carronade, Deck Gunners, Shade Wraith Deck Gunners, and then Zombies with Pole Arms, Handgunners, Noctilus up on his peg leg, and a Deeps Caster with the Crab Summon. Just doing their best. Ooh, that is a mistake, though. The Deeps Caster only has the Crab Summon, but also brought Kiss the Deeps. They have 2 casts, because this only has 2 charges to get their Kiss the Deeps summon off, which is not worth it. Chameleon Stalker is getting a lot of damage on Lamprey's Revenge, because they have fire damage, and Lampreys are weak to fire damage. And the Vampire Coast are just about to realize what is happening to them, as these little Chameleon Skinks come flying in with their grenades. Ripperdactyl's already taken out one of the Deck Gunners. Nakai gonna get the other. And Lamprey's Revenge are already toast. Pakopok Cohort joining to fight them. Get Blom's Terror looks like it's also going to fight Lamprey's Revenge. I was wondering if it was going to go for Noctilus or not. Flock of Doomcaster starts to offer a little bit of support, but the zombies from the front line are starting to crawl backwards and try and stop the Lizardmen advance. Shade Wraith Gunners look to be doomed, and Get Blom's Terror is in. Looks like he is going to go for Noctilus, try and 1v1 that big boy. He is going to do that on top of Halberds, which is a little risky, but Primal Roar gives him physical resistance and all the melee attack man could hope for, as the Chameleon Stalkers hurry through these guys. Bounce power is not as bad for the Vampire Coast as you would think, considering how this game started. As this cannon is about to die, Lamprey's Revenge are about to die. We already lost both Deck Gunners. Like, you'd think it should be going terribly for them, but the bounce power's like, nah, they're chilling. They're okay. Ripperdactyls surrounding Noctilus. Get Blom's Terror also still trying to fight him a bit. Oh wait, no, it's way over there. I misread what was going on. And fighting on top of Halberds is getting a little spooky. Lizardmen definitely need to back off from this engagement, but it seems like they're refusing to do so. As the skirmish skinks continue to fire in. The Beast Caster trying to stop this handgunner from shooting at anybody, but has taken a lot of damage to do so. Looks like it's almost going to rout, but Chameleon Stalkers are coming in to support it, to lend aid. If only that Beast Caster can hang on for a little bit longer. It looks like he did, so those handgunners will die. There's a lot of zombie summons out. Noctilus has been pumping them out, so the Lizardmen need to slow this game down, wait for all the summons to fade away, and then get good work done. His Nakai's going to duel a Crabloid. That's probably a good engagement for him. He appreciates that. Get Blom's Terror is once again challenging the Necrophect's Colossus to a display of dominance. But there are just so many damn zombies beneath its feet that it can't really get the engagement it actually wants. Handgunner's gonna die. That is not a summon, that is a real zombie. That is a real zombie. Summon. Real. 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 There's actually a good amount of real zombies out here. That's a summon. The Kai got knocked over. I imagine by Noctilus's Cannonball manages to shake it off and get back up. He's gonna get snipped by a Creepy Crab and hit with a Wraith Storm in the top of the head. Bounce power is favoring the Lizardmen pretty heavily. I would also agree. As more and more undead fade away. How many viewer summons again? Just one, currently. Okay. Nakai is stuck in the 2v1, getting some decent shots down on the Vampire Caster of the Deeps as she summons another Rotting Promethean mob to protect this area, but also just push away those Chameleon Stalkers. Another summon is out from Noctilus's butt because he fell low enough on HP that mattered. And Skink Skirmishers are in, trying to fire up at the very tall target that is Noctilus and take him down. Nakai is going to opt out of this fight finally, and I do appreciate that, as he does his dancing animation. Nope, he canceled his dancing animation. I thought he was going to dance through a bunch of zombies and make us happy. Did Noctilus just summon again, or what happened with that? I don't know. Something happened over there, and I wasn't fully paying attention. It looks like he did summon again. So more and more summons are out from Noctilus. Those guys are real. That is a summon. That is a summon. That is a summon. There's 3 summons on the field for the Vampire Coast. Noctilus is trying to get some shots up. The Skink Skirmishers continue to just pepper him down. And he isn't spending Winds of Magic on Invocation Heck because he didn't bring Invocation Heck. Oh, he has no healing as he uses another summon. It's all summons all day. It doesn't matter because Noctilus is going to die. Flockadim's going to hit all the summons. Not that that really matters because Noctilus goes down. Nakai and Getblum's finished off the Hero Caster, and without that, army losses hits for the Vampire Coast. The full Vanguard, Getblums, and Nakai duo worked out. Nakai did okay. Getblums did okay. Paka cohort did fine. Skink Skirmishers were the true heroes that did a lot of damage, and Chameleon Stalkers also did pretty decently. For Medusote, tough times. Tough times when you get full Vanguard cheesed by a degenerate YouTube streamer like Tequila Sunset. Yeah, look at that. His handgun mob's got 128 value total. His deck gunners got 2 value combined. And then his cannon got 130, so that's really brutal. GG.
Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.